from Numancia, Aklan, in Western Visayas here in the Philippines. I'm having my morning cup of tea, green tea, on my Arizona cup here from my good friend John in Tucson, Arizona. He shipped this to me all the way from Tucson, Arizona, and it made it. It did not break. It made it here to the Philippines. So happy about this cup. My only souvenir of Arizona. I don't have a, you know me, I don't keep a lot of like souvenirs. You know, it's like I might have one Arizona T-shirt left, but I treasure this because I don't have many souvenirs at all of Arizona, and I lived there. My last 7 years in the United States was in Arizona. I'm waiting for the game. I'm waiting for the Cubs and Brewers. I'm eager to find out who we're gonna play. My Dodgers, of course. I got my Dodger hat. Who we're gonna play in the next round. I'm gonna pull up my laptop here because yesterday it locked up on me. So so I can watch if the screen hangs up here. Because sometimes it does that here, unfortunately. Okay, I can see myself on my laptop so I can, hey, good morning, Ray. Ray in the Philippines, my good friend in Tagaytay. I enjoyed that live stream last night, Ray. Ray in the Philippines, check out his YouTube channel. He was with Michael C. Michael C in the Philippines is his YouTube channel. Both of them were on together, like a collaboration live stream. I had a good time. That was fun joining your live stream, Ray. Weather. I always start with the weather, of course. Let me take my hat off that way. It's warm this morning here for some reason. The sun is like bright and sunny again. So early. The sun is bright already. No typhoon of any kind, nothing like that in the Philippine area of responsibility. It just says here, easterlies. Those are the winds coming from the east, from the Pacific Ocean. It says here, Aurora, Quezon, Metro Manila, Caraga, Davao region. Partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers or thunderstorms. Same thing with the rest of the country. Looks like it's gonna be bright and sunny. Gonna be another good day here in our province. Let me go show you outside real quick. I'm not gonna go far out the door because that's how I lost you guys yesterday. I'm just gonna open my door, see, so I can show you guys how bright and sunny it is already. Man, that sun is just beaming this morning. I'm not gonna go far just because I don't want to lose you guys like I did yesterday. But look at that sun. So bright. A little bit of clouds there maybe. But looks like it's going to be a warm day for sure. Just so bright outside this morning. There's my dog. That's my dog. Totoy, that's her corner there. She likes sleeping on that corner. Let me get back here, get situated again. Lowell, kumusta? Kumusta, Lowell? Good to see you as always. Thank you again for joining the live stream. My good friend in Oregon. Hopefully a future member of the Panay Posse. I know you're, praying for you. I know you got some medical stuff you got to take care of, but don't give up on that dream of the Philippines, brother. It's like get healthy, and then hopefully one day, maybe next year, you can head here to the Philippines. I will help you. With that move if you want to do that move. Hello, Mahin. All right, Fortune. My good friend in Bacoor in Cavite. Good AM, Ginno. Fam in the Panay Posse. Good morning, Fortune, says Ray. Pradeep. Sri Lanka. Hello from Sri Lanka. Wow. Thank you so much for joining the live stream this morning. My phone. Okay, not sure what that is, but thank you for dip. I'm not sure what my phone. Maybe that when you like type, maybe the autocorrect messes it up sometimes. Said hi, hello. I heard Philippine people know how to speak Spanish. Is it true? They don't really. There's a lot of Spanish words in the Filipino language in the different dialects. There is a section of the Philippines. If you go to Mindanao in I think Zamboanga. I know it's on the western Mindanao. There's people. There's a city actually that they speak Spanish, but most of the country does not speak Spanish. I don't speak Spanish. I speak Tagalog. I speak the native language, and I took Spanish in high school when I was in the United States. But no, yeah, not many Filipinos speak Spanish. Fortune, good day, Ray, good day. Hello, Kuma. All right, Train Club. Good morning, Kuma. DIY. No, I have not tried that, my friend. All right. I always hit a topic. That's why I try to do that way. It's just not like I have some information to pass. There was another earthquake again yesterday. Let me just pull it up here. It was, I think, in Surigao. It was the latest. There's been a lot of earthquakes, unfortunately, in the Philippines lately. This one, strong 6.2 quake strikes near Caguait, Surigao del Sur. And this one hit, it says here, I think it was last night. I'm sure we'll get more information on the earthquake. But we've been getting earthquakes this year for some reason. Maybe they're all connected. I'm not really sure, but they're not common. Usually we don't get this many earthquakes in the Philippines. Unusual, really, unusual. All right. I am, all right, said hi, all right, I'm CK, all right. I don't want to miss any comments just in case anybody would. Jack, I'm from Europe. All right, Jack, thank you from joining from Europe. Wow, that's a long way. Hi, my grandma died and I'm having a real hard time. I hope you see this. Love. Ayala for prayers to you, my friend. That's tough. Losing a loved one is always tough. Sending my prayers to you, my friend. I have been enjoying your channel. All right. I'm glad to hear that you're enjoying the channel. Diddler, we have bidets and we stay squeaky clean. All right, we stay squeaky. Yeah, I do. I have a bidet on my bathroom too. Like it's a gun. It's almost like a gun, man. Here from New Zealand. Wow. We're going international today. New Zealand. Thank you for joining the live stream. Good morning. Wow. A lot of bad rap vids out on Philippines. Happy we have good vibe here. Now earthquake. Yeah, the earthquakes, I'm sure it's one of those phenomenons, Belus. You've been here, it happens. I mean, it happens in the Philippines, earthquakes, but not this much. I don't recall in my 14 years here where there was a year where there's so many earthquakes. But it's not just the Philippines. I know they're having earthquakes in Southeast Asia along the Ring of Fire. So maybe how it is. They might be all connected. All the earthquakes that we're getting. Hopefully the earthquakes would stop. Let's get back to normal. It gets back to normal here. From Kentucky. All right, Kuma. I got a friend visited me here from Boracay. I met him and his wife. They were from Kentucky. Spent time with them the beginning part of this year. I think they're coming back soon too because they like coming here to Boracay. Boracay is kind of like their playground. They vacation all the time in Boracay. Ryan AP, hello Ryan. Thank you for joining the live stream. Hi Ray, Kuma. I built Earth. I know. I saw your like foundation that rebar, steel, the wire. I mean, Belus, he built his house like double the standard or maybe triple the standard. I was like, I know it's like, your house will survive. Your house will survive for sure, man. I subscribe to your channel from. Thank you from Africa, Kenya. Thank you so much for subscribing. Said hi. All right, where are you from? I'm from the Philippines. I'm here in Numancia, Aklan in Western Visayas in the Philippines. All right, Ryan in the Philippines. All right, the thumbs up. Thank you, Ryan. I'll keep an eye out on the comments if anybody's have any questions for me. But I have a topic. I'm going to discuss the topic this morning. I always try to come up with a topic that way you can say your comments, add to the comments your experience. For me, it's always good like to share information about the Philippines just because so much interest in the Philippines. I know there's so many people planning, retiring here, visiting here, moving here. So it's always good that we share. It's like I don't have all the information. You guys have more information than me probably. I learn from you guys when you talk, when you share your experience. I love it when somebody moves here and I get this help them and sponsor them because I'm also getting fresh information from them. How the visa process, how was their trip, how's the airlines, different things like that. That's funny, but I don't have money to buy your phone. I don't have money to buy your phone, my friend. Okay, my topic this morning, I'm going to talk about raising kids here in the Philippines. I am seeing more and more foreigners move their families here to the Philippines, and they're moving here with young kids. I've seen that before. I've been here 14 years. But lately, I've just been noticing more and more. I think maybe it has to do with something, in the developed countries. There's a lot of tension, and them trying to take their kids out of that environment. They're thinking about, not a good environment to raise their kids. That's why I think, just my opinion. That's why they're selecting the Philippines to move their family, or maybe they have visited the Philippines and saw how the interaction here, the Filipino interaction, the family orientedness of the Filipinos. Maybe that's why they want that for their family. But I am seeing an increase just for people that reaches out to me. I used to just help a lot of expats move here. But lately, I've been getting more people that are moving here with kids. SpongeBob, I know. That's Dazzle's SpongeBob. My best friend got Dazzle. My best friend from Hawaii, he knows that Dazzle loves SpongeBob. So that was like a present for Dazzle when he visited us. Edgar, good morning. Good morning, Edgar. Says, good morning, your fortune. Good morning, guys. Moved here with my 8-year-old. Thank you. Man. Exactly what I wanted, people are moving here with kids. Thank you for that, Journeys and Bohol. She's 11 now, going to public school. Same thing with Leanna. Leanna is going to public school here in Numancia, Aklan. I'm helping her with her schoolwork, and now she's been on Kumon now for over 2 months now. She got this Kumon bag. It's heavy. I gotta check it. They got so many assignments they do. Kumon is great. My friend Fortune recommended I enroll Leanna in Kumon, and it's been a blessing. I can tell the difference with Leanna. She was already an honor student. She's already top in her class, but she's already in high school now, so there's only so much I can do. It's like I'm not a professional teacher, but Kumon is really helping her. I like that. It is right. I'm glad you said that, Jerry, and thank you for that. I have a friend that moved here. He's from Canada. I've been communicating with him for about a year, and then he moved here this past May. He now lives in Iloilo City with his wife, Filipino wife, and then they have two kids. The kids are 4 and 7. The 4-year-old's not going to school yet, but the 7-year-old is enrolled in Ateneo de Iloilo. That is like one of the top schools here in Panay Island, in Iloilo City. Anywhere in the Philippines, really, Fortune can vouch for this. If your kid goes to Ateneo, that's one of the good schools here in the Philippines. Ateneo is a good school. Hey, JP, all right, JP, all right. Belus, Ray, everybody. See, that's why I like the vibe of our channel, because everybody knows everybody, everybody's greeting everybody, sharing the positive vibes, just having a good time, having a good time. I like that. We are from Cerritos. Oh, I know where Cerritos is, man. I went to Long Beach, California. I graduated class of 1983, Long Beach, Wilson. Go Bruins. I think we used to play you guys in sports, Cerritos. I have many friends many Filipinos live in Cerritos. All right, let me just, my notes here. So getting back to my friend's story. He lives in Iloilo City now. His kid got enrolled at Ateneo de Iloilo, 7 years old. At first, he said his kid was struggled because the education that his kid was getting in Canada. Most of the time, he said they were just the kids were just playing. There wasn't a lot of academics going on. But Ateneo here, they're focused on academics, even at a young age, at 7. And I know that because when I went to school here in the Philippines before I moved to the United States, my elementary years here at Letron College in Intramuros, Manila, very stringent. I mean, we're talking. It was not an easy school. It's not. We had homework. We studied hard. It's like very competitive when you're in school. Math, science, and that's the vibe that my friend from Canada said. He enrolled his kid at Kumon too. Fortune, his kid's at Kumon here in the Philippines too. It took a lot of work, he said, because when they got here May, June, July, he said both him and his wife really was working with, and their daughter, 7-year-old daughter, was like feeling the pressure because she was behind. She was behind with the other kids in her class here in the Philippines. But now she's up to speed now. When we went to Iloilo, hanged out with them a little bit. He told me she's blending in now. She's on pace now academically with the other kids, and she's actually learning Mandarin. It's one of her subjects because I guess Ateneo de Iloilo used to be a Chinese Filipino school, so they kept that in the curriculum to teach the kids Chinese. And that's not a bad thing, right? It's like learn another foreign language as a little kid, growing up. I'm sure she can use that Mandarin language at some point of her life. All right, we are sorry. Belus, hi JP and everyone from Belus. Yep, LB, very close. I know, Long Beach, and the LBC. We used to call it the LBC. All right, good day, Belus from Fortune. It will help kids with their social skills. Kids aren't locked in their rooms playing. Yes, that's the other thing, right, Ray? See, Ray's been here now. He's traveled to Iloilo, traveled here in Panay Island, went to Masbate. Ray has seen how kids are here. They're out playing outside. They're not locked in with laptop, with iPad. Kids here, like my neighborhood kids here, I see them every sunset riding their bicycles here. And that's a good thing. It's like, I know in the US, a lot of times kids are just like hooked on their video games and their gadgets. They're like glued to their phone at a young age. here in our province, half the kids here don't have a phone. So it's like, it's not like, but it's not, they don't have a phone, so it's not like they can be hooked on it. They got to be outside playing here. Fortune, salute to Fortune. Edgar, JP, you have to pay cash in Kalibo. No credit card at most of the motorcycle shops. Thank you, Edgar. Thank you, Edgar. I know that was one of JP's questions. So it's like whether you can buy a credit card. See, Edgar, see like that, Edgar sharing the information. I don't know that information because I'm not checking out to buy a motorcycle. Same thing happened with James, James and Karen's adventure. He just bought a motorbike and he had cash. James was holding his like 100,001 pesos in his hand, It's like, that's how it is here. Unfortunately, credit card in the province is not widely used. It's like, not many establishments here in the province accept credit card. When I first started looking at the Philippines for time after the low cost of living, the idea of the Philippines culture is more like US in the 50s. I like that. Yes, I agree totally with that, JP. I was born in the 60s, but I watched TV shows in the 50s, Leave It to Beaver, it's like I Love Lucy, I've seen the replays, even the Brady Bunch, even though Brady Bunch was like in the 70s, but I know what you're saying. That was like more traditional, and the Philippines still have that, and I think that's one of the reasons why people are moving here with their kids. And I know with my friend from Canada, we had breakfast together. We were just talking. He's just ecstatic that he took his kids here because for one, he told me he didn't feel like his kids were learning anything where he was coming from. Now he's seeing his kids like the 7-year-old is like becoming articulate, becoming like academically concerned. A lot of times in the US, unfortunately, in the developed countries, unless you're rich, unless you're going to like a private school, if you're going to a public school, they're just trying to push kids through. They're not really like teaching the kids anymore. And I had another friend also went to Iloilo City. He's got a teenager. His daughter is like 13 or 14. And if you can imagine moving a teenager to the Philippines, but they're adjusting, he's adjusting, Filipina wife's happy, it's like the teenager is also attending Ateneo de Iloilo. So I think it's just a good choice, I would be afraid to raise a teenager in the US now, man. With all the stuff that's going on in the US, man. I would be afraid if I have a teenager raising it in that environment. You just don't know what would happen to your teenager. Howdy, Ginno Panay Daniel, my good friend in Jacksonville, Florida. All right, Daniel, thank you. Thank you for joining the live stream, my friend. True, JP, true. Edgar, good day from Edgar. Yes, JP. Kids playing outside, healthier, right? It's like, I know Ray was even like playing music, dancing with the kids. Kids just have a good time here. I know like here in our community, what's a big deal now is Halloween's coming up. And the kids here in our community, we're in a gated community here in Camellia, Aklan. All the kids here, they're already excited about Halloween because I'll decorate our gate. People, they do trick or treat here in our community. Actually, last year they even, those I did the opening salvo, and there's like that marching band. It's amazing how they came up with that because that marching band, the Ati drum beats, it's pretty much any fiesta, anything that Aklan. It's the sign of, I guess, the symbol of Aklan is that marching band. It's funny because like they'll use that band, they'll be like doing the drums, about 25, 30 of them walking into our neighborhood, and the kids trick-or-treating are behind them. I'll have to film it this year because like the first time I saw that, I was like, that's kind of cool. It's kind of funny because like, I've never seen a trick-or-treat like that, but it's the Philippines. It's the Philippines. So Philippine version of trick-or-treating. A marching band leading the kids behind, all of them in the costumes. They had Kumon in the U.S. My older kids living it did Kumon. Yes, it's great, man. I'm glad Fortune talked me into joining Kumon because it's really, I can see the difference. I can see the difference in Leanna. Mandarin is very versatile language. She could test it out in mainland China. All right, all right. Like I said, I'm sure it wouldn't hurt a kid knowing how to speak Mandarin. You know, there's a lot of Chinese in the world. You know, it's like an asset, I would think. You know, as an asset, I would think as someday as a career. You know, interpreter. You know, it's like it's always good if you can speak another foreign language. Cam, hey, my good friend in Calibo now. You know, it's like Ruben's been in Calibo now for 10 months, part of the Panay Posse. Aloha, Kakahiyaka, happy Sunday, Calibuans. All right, all right. See, Ruben's like, Ruben walks around here in Calibo, knows people around. Ruben probably knows more people than me, you know, here in Calibo. He goes to like a couple of, Ruben's like a billiard player. I wouldn't play Ruben. He's a hustler. No, I'm kidding, Ruben. But he goes to Calibo. There's a couple of pool halls that Ruben likes to frequent. Have a beer. That's the thing here with the pool halls. You can have a beer at any time of the day. You could be morning, afternoon, nighttime. It doesn't matter. You can drink a beer at the pool hall here. It is allowed. Drinking at the pool hall is allowed. Aklanons and Panayans and everyone. All right, and Ruben just got a motorbike. He got a used motorbike, which is easier, I think, if you get a used motorbike. You don't have to deal with the registration, LTO, all that. And Ruben got an awesome deal on a used motorbike. He bought a Honda Click 125. He paid 38,000 pesos. You know, that's like $700, $700 or $750 for a motorbike. And it's a good motorbike. I mean, like Ruben's riding it. I saw he's still trying to get, he's not comfortable yet with like the traffic, in Calibo riding in the motorbike. But retired policeman sold the motorbike to Ruben, one of the people that he's met here in Calibo. So I'm sure, retired cop, you would think, Ruben got a good deal. Edgar, thanks. I saw James and yes, I'm glad you saw that video. You saw James holding all that cash, JP. It's the thing, it's like credit cards are just not widely used in our province. Actually, even some of the hospitals here, if you get admitted to the hospital, some hospitals here don't accept credit card too. So really, the Philippines is a cash basis society still, especially in the province. In Manila, probably you won't have problem with credit cards, but here in the province, it's just not widely used. Summertime in the LBC. All right. Rat. All right. Hello, Daniel. Used to go to Shoreline Village pretty often. Oh, all right. I haven't been in, since I graduated, I was stationed at Victorville, California, so I would still visit Long Beach. But I have not been to Long Beach. The last time I was there was 87. Because I joined the military, so the military took me all over the place. And then my mom moved from Long Beach to Houston, Texas. So when she left, I didn't have a reason anymore to go to Long Beach. Instead, my vacations were spent in Houston, Texas. Good day, Daniel. JP, Ray, and Edgar. All right, yep. Like going back in time. Here in the PI, I know, right? It's like going back in time. For me, I like it. Journeys in Bohol, because for me, it reminds me of my youth. It's like I left the Philippines when I was 12, and then I came back here when I was 45. But what I enjoy is like, it brings me back in time. It's like when I see kids riding their bicycles in my community here, even the little things like when I go to our plaza in the morning, get pandesal, I can get taho. For a Filipino like me, I'm Filipino American, but that's that part of me, for me, is like priceless. All my childhood, and then I can attend fiesta. Christmas time here is going to be awesome. The whole month of December is fun here. Opening of lights, caroling. There's kids caroling here in our neighborhood during the holidays. I just enjoy everything about it. Because when I lived in the U.S., being in the military, I got stationed at different places, like in Louisiana, California, Texas. But a lot of times, especially when I lived outside the base, inside the base we were a community because we're all military inside the base when you live inside the base. But outside the base, a lot of times my neighbors, I would be like pulling out of my garage or my driveway. You just see them, you just like wave to them, but you don't really know them. It's like, yeah, because how people are in the U.S. It's kind of like you kind of mind your own business. You might wave, might do, but you're not you don't feel like a community. Here in our neighborhood, I feel like a community. I know every person in my street. We talk, in the afternoon at sunset. We hang out. I will have to look for a Filipina named Mary Ann. Mary Ann from Gilligan's Island. JP, that's funny, JP. Hey, Mary is a common name now. I would not be surprised if you meet a Mary Ann here in the Philippines, JP, because Mary is a common name. Mary, Maria, Marie, those three names, they're very common. Lots of Filipinas are named that. Hey, Sarge Dan. Good day, Ruben. I think I'd pick, all right, 5-fold. USA grew so big glasses size can't pay enough to each student. Yeah, for me, it's like, I don't feel like even with Leanna, she's going to public school, she has Kumon. I know when it's time for college for Leanna, I'm already seeing when we do her homework, I can already see she won't have problem once she starts college and enters, she wants to do nursing, become a nurse. Not going to be a problem. I know she's going to make a great nurse because I worked in hospitals. I've seen what nurses do. I'm familiar with what I need to teach her. And I'm already like introducing her to like medical terminology, terms that you hear at the hospital. She's already learning that from me. Or Ginger. Basketball is huge. I did shoe drive. Everyone, good. All right. Oh yeah, even here in our communities here, like even in Boracay, Boracay is not far from our home here. There's expats here that do like contributions to like I know my friend Finn, he lives in Boracay. He calls it Finn's what's that? Heart something. He named his group, and they donate shoes, they donate books to like the local schools. You can do that here. Even at Leanna School, I donated dictionaries over. At one time, the 5th and 6th grade, we gave like over 500 dictionaries to each kid. Because they always need it. It's like public schools here are not funded well. So anything you can help to the public school here, much appreciated by the school. Edgar, I've had to disagree with Ginno. The Jollibee spaghetti is better than American spaghetti. Man, I like American spaghetti. Edgar. I guess I just like the sourness. When I make my spaghetti, I like the more marinara sauce, not the sweet Filipino sauce. Even it says it on the packet when Dazzle buys her spaghetti. Because when we cook spaghetti, I have my own sauce. Dazzle and Leanna have their own sauce. They prefer that. It says here on the packet, sweet Filipino sauce. It's like spaghetti sauce. I was like, no, I'll stick to like that. I got ragu. I buy ragu at SNR. Even with the hot dogs. Yeah, I don't like, I'll eat it, of course, if we all go to Jollibee, but I prefer like the American spaghetti. Ray, that's fun. Trick or treat parade. I know, Ray. I'll have to film it this year because I don't know what I was thinking last year. I didn't film. I think I filmed part of the party because we have a clubhouse here by the swimming pool, And that clubhouse, they hold like taekwondo here, things like that. And they have a party there. That's where the Halloween party starts. They give prizes to the the costumes of the kids. Dazzle and I, we actually dressed up like I think I was I dressed a Star Wars. I had like a Star Wars like Obi-Wan, and then Dazzle, she had the Yoda. She had the Yoda costume when we went to the Halloween party. I mean, like I said, they do things like that here. Fun for the kids. There's always like Halloween's big here. Then the Christmas party. They hold Christmas party in our community. Saw a girl in her 20s with college degree that could not even read first grade level. Here her entire life. Her teacher just passed her. Yeah, I mean, that happens here too, Daniel, unfortunately. Not to that level, they can read and all that. But here, there's a lot of colleges here in the Philippines. The good colleges are, of course, in the city. If you go to Manila, the big universities in Manila, Cebu City, Iloilo City. Sometimes there's these small colleges here in the province. They don't really like, they finish 4-year degree college, but they really didn't teach them much. That's a problem here too. But if you're focused on your kid and you want your kid to succeed, there's Kumon, there's private schools. Private schools are affordable here. Like I checked online with Ateneo de Iloilo. They don't publish their prices. I don't know why, but they don't. But I did a little bit of research from comments from people, and their tuition per year, an elementary school now, just elementary school, is about $1,000 for the year, like for tuition. That's still pretty high here in the Philippines. That's like almost 60,000 pesos for private school, but it's a good school. Like I said, your kid's gonna do well. Teach them Mandarin. A respected school in Iloilo City. But many private schools all over the Philippines. But you got to be careful with when they say private schools here in the Philippines, because they're not all created equal. There are some with advertised that they're a private school, but you really have to do your research. The name school of course are a lot better, like Ateneo. If your kid can make it to Ateneo or De La Salle University, Letron College. I know even the elementary high school there is good. But you have to do your research like anything else. You just can't say, "Oh, it's a private school. Good to go. I can send my kid there." You still have to ask people in the area, recommendations from people what the best schools are. Bill, all right. Greetings, Ginno. Better late than never. Am I right? Hope you're all right. All right. Yeah, I'm doing well. Thank you for the Westends. All right, the Westends. Thank you for joining the live stream, the Westends. Ray, in the U.S., a lot of houses aren't giving out candy because the parents are driving their kids around instead of the kids walking around in groups like in the past. Oh, okay, all right. Well, I can see it, man. I can see that. Just because you can never be too careful with your kids nowadays. It's like, man, it's almost like hard to find a safety zone for kids, right? I mean, kids are getting, unfortunately, tragically, shootings at schools, shootings at churches. It's almost like nothing sacred anymore. Maybe that's another reason why they want to bring their kids here to the Philippines, because here, the schools here are safe. I've never heard of school shooting here in the Philippines. They don't practice school shootings here in the Philippines because I've never heard of it. It's never happened. It's like the 14 years I've been here, I've never seen somebody go into the school and just start shooting people. And then, I did the topic, raising kids in the Philippines. Many people, expats will say, they'll come here, "Oh, I'm done with kids." You're retiring, you're done with kids. But a lot of times what I see when expats come there with that, it's like they meet a Filipino with kids. It's like, never say never now. Never say never now. And then there's some people that, I have a friend, he's about my age. he said he had two kids with his Filipina, and the kids are like young kids right now. I don't think they're even school age kids. And one thing he likes here is he's well off a little bit. He's got money. He hired nannies. You can hire a nanny here to watch your kid, change diapers, basically be a full-time nanny. He's got two for each kid. He's got two nannies. And a nanny here would cost you, in the province now, here in Aklan province, would cost you around about 10,000 pesos, about $200 a month for a full-time live-in nanny. You would have to provide a room, you would have to provide board, food and lodging, but $200 for a nanny. You don't have to change diapers. You don't have to do, you got somebody watching your kid, And a lot of times the nannies that get hired here are usually a relative of your Filipina. That's how nannies, domestic helpers, that's usually the case. It's usually, you're not going to trust your kid to somebody unknown to you. You want to do what is that, police check, or but if it's your relative, if it's your wife's relative, cousin of your wife, niece of your wife, you would feel safe. And that's usually the dynamic here. It's usually somebody in the family becomes the kid's nanny. I am Mary Ann fan. All the way, Mary Ann. All right, that's right. People are always asking, right, Ginger or Mary Ann. If I'm trying to remember, Ginger was like the actress, kind of like with the fluffy hair, and then Mary Ann was the smart one, right? I'm Mary Ann too. I'm with the professor, right? I'm more Mary Ann too, JP. Yes, JP, Mary Ann seemed more down to earth than Ginger. Yeah, Ginger looked, Ginger was always like dressing up, it's like she looked like a model, on Gilligan's Island. Although I did have a thing for redheads. She had a thing for redheads, Ray. She baked coconut cream pie all the time without flour from the crust. All right, JP. I'll have to, man, it's been so long since the last time I seen Gilligan's Island, but I did watch it. I remember when I was going to high school, when I came home from school, while I was doing my homework from school, I would have the TV on, and that was one of the shows, Gilligan's Island, Happy Days. Happy Days was another one, Laverne and Shirley. Those are the, Leave It to Beaver, those were the shows I would be watching while I was doing my homework. Edgar, JP, they have the gingers here. Just watch out for them. Just watch out for them. Hey, they got all kinds now, right? Edgar can tell you guys, just be careful. Take your time. Take your time. I still do an all dark hair girls, Daniel. All right, good point, JP. How they make pie crust. There were many things on Gilligan's Island. You make how did they do that? I thought they were in an island with nothing. Jay, hello, Journey, Dazzle. They have changed laws about dual citizenship for kids now. I think now they just do a recognition of Philippine citizenship. I think it's pretty much the same as dual though. All right. For dual citizen, as long as one of the parent is Filipino, like if your wife, most of the time, if your wife's Filipino, even if your kid is born in the United States when they're moving here, the kid can become a Philippine citizen because born of Philippine parents. I have a friend, Joel and Eileen, both born in the United States, now getting ready to retire. They got Philippine passports in the Philippine consulate in California because they're might be headed here to the Philippines. So, but they were both born in the United States, but with Filipino parents. JP, my single ad, looking for Mary Ann type. Bring coconut cream. I'm trying. We can post that in Facebook, right? We can post that in Facebook, JP. All right. LOL, JP. I love Filipino spaghetti. Do you add cheddar? That's all not, when she makes the spaghetti, she's not big on cheese, but I know Leanna likes cheese on our spaghetti. On whose side was Finland during World War II? I would think the Finland would have been an ally. I would think, because Finland always seems to be a friendly country. Ginno, do you know if have a child with a Pinay girl, my wife, can my kid get dual citizenship? All right, if you're born, if your kid is born here in the Philippines, automatically that's a Filipino citizen. You would actually, if you meet a Filipina and then you have a kid with the Filipina, Daniel, you would have to register that kid at the U.S. Embassy. It's American citizen born abroad, because you want your kid to be an American citizen too. So dual citizen. You would have to file the paperwork at the U.S. Embassy, and your baby will get an American passport. But also American passport, Filipino birth certificate. So dual citizen. I am from Pakistan. All right, from Pakistan. Thank you for joining the live stream, my friend. If you like coconut cream, getting caught in a line. If you're not into tampo, tampo, man, that's a bad word, man. Tampo is a bad word. The foreigners find out about tampo. That's not a good word, man. Tampo is that's not fun. Tampo is not. Tampo is like when your Filipinas starts not talking to you and you don't know what you did. That's usually how it starts with tampo, and different ranges of tampo with the Filipina, but unfortunately, a lot of Filipinas have tampo that I've looked for. Message me to escape. Subscriber is new, brother. All right. Thank you, Eugene. Appreciate the subscription. Piña colada, the Piña Colada song. I need shout out. All right, Eugene. All right. 74 days ago before. All right. I was in Iloilo and I saw a sign at the mall coming in, and I filmed it. It says 84 days when we were in Iloilo. So I know that the malls here in the Philippines, they have a sign outside. They're counting down Christmas. All right, Eugene. Eugene Villanueva. Shout out to Eugene Villanueva. Fortune. Yes, Daniel. He can be dual. Yes. Full watch the latest videos also. Oh, thank you, Eugene. Appreciate the support, my brother. Make sure to register in the embassy. Yes, that's a lot of expats know it. When you're here, Daniel, if you get in that situation, you have a baby coming, I'll get you all the information that you need. Does my turtle have free will? My turtle have free will. Diddy is sorry. They are having more trick or treats. Church open their for candy. Oh, that's good. At least the churches, you feel safe, right? For your kid trick or treating. Here, totally safe here. Like the kids here in our neighborhood, like in our gated community, they just ride their bikes by themselves. Little kids, even like 4 or 5 years old, running around here in their bikes. We have like a 20 kilometer per when we're driving. We drive really slow in our neighborhood because we know there's kids in our neighborhood that ride their bikes. Hi, Ginno from, the heart of our home, from Oceanside, California. Talking about nanny, it's impossible to hire nanny here in California without paying less than $20 an hour. Wow, that's like over 1,000 pesos an hour, like 1,200 pesos. That's a lot of money. Like I said here, a full-time nanny here for a whole month, 10,000 pesos, $200. You would have to provide room and board, so a room in your house for the nanny to stay. But man, I think that's a bargain, right? Just not changing diapers. It's like that's a bargain. I married the family nanny. Now we have 7 kids because she raised all of them. Funny thing, my wife has a college. All right. Hey, man, it's like anything goes. Anything goes here in the Philippines. That's one thing. It's like I remember, like in the U.S. It's like it seems like there's just so many rules, even rules in life. The age gap thing, or you're a senior citizen, you can't have kids. Here in the Philippines, it's like nobody cares. You can do whatever makes you happy. If you want a kid when you're a senior citizen, why not? It's like nobody's gonna give you a hard time here. You see it all the time. If I go to Boracay Island, you see like guys like my age, older than me, carrying a baby. And it's their kid. It's not a big thing here. It's a like and subscribe. Thank you, Fortune. Thank you, Fortune. Ginger was the movie star. That's right. I was trying to remember because I haven't seen it for so long, but I remembered it correctly. Ginger was like, usually has that poofy hair. The poofy hair. Mary Ann was always hanging out with the professor. So she's the smart one. I thought about the nanny thing, family of my wife, if my injuries start taking more of a toll with the years. Also, a good way to allow the wife. Yeah, I mean, it's easy. That's the thing, right? If you meet somebody here, marry, there's always that family that will help you out. That's the thing. Even with Dazzle and I, we got Leanna, but if Dazzle and I want to go somewhere like we did last week when we went to Iloilo, Dazzle's older sister comes over to the house and watches Leanna, takes her to school, takes her to Kumon. So you have that. I know. You hear from expats, you don't want to live. You want to live one island away from your Filipinas family, but I've never believed that. To me, that's a bad way to have a relationship with a Filipina. I think, just my opinion. Because if you move away from the Filipinas family, that's her family. It's like you're taking her away from her family. So to me, that can't go well, for your relationship. That could bring out a lot of issues. I think it opens up a lot of can of worms in your relationship if you're like, you don't like the Filipinas family. That's why before you marry, get to know the Filipinas family before you decide to marry her, right? It's important to see meet the parents, meet the sisters, meet the brothers, see if you're gonna like them. It's like before you marry the Filipina. JP, Daniel, I think you have to eat balut for 40 days and 40 nights to become a there's no way. Unfortunately, JP, there's no pathway to becoming a Filipino citizen if you're an American citizen. Very difficult. And also, if you're an American citizen, to become a Filipino citizen, you would have to give up your American citizenship. And who's going to do that? Nobody's going to do that. The only foreigner that I know that's Filipino citizen is Kulas of becoming Filipino, because he's done so much for the Philippines, promoting Philippines. It took an act of Congress to make him a Filipino citizen. Actually, an act of Congress. There's a law, Republic Act, that the Congress approved and the president signed, making Kulas a Filipino citizen. I don't think that's going to happen to another American for a while. You'd have to really promote the Philippines in order to get that Philippine citizenship. Born and raised in Manila, living in South Carolina now, U.S. Army veteran. All right. We're the same, man. I was born and raised in Manila, graduated elementary school at Latron College, all boys Catholic school in Manila. Then I moved to the United States, went to high school in Long Beach, California. And I'm a retired United States Air Force. That's why I like wearing my U.S. Air Force shirts, representing the United States Air Force. JP, don't forget the dried fish. All right, I can't forget the dried fish in my neighborhood because I'm always smelling it. It's like a lot of my neighbors here got like a dirty kitchen. They don't cook it inside the house. Usually they have a dirty kitchen or they'll take the portable cooking and they cook it outside their house. But so it smells the neighborhood. When I walk in the morning here, I'm always smelling, somebody's cooking tuyo. Dried fish. Somebody's cooking dried fish. Bob M. All right, Bob M. Thank you for the thumbs up there. Hello. Gloom Goon. All right. Boom. All right. Okay. No politics, unfortunately. No politics. I don't talk politics in the channel. Try to meet up. a Cebu female who is 24, but I'm not much older. All right, nothing wrong. I mean, meeting up, a lot of people meet people online. I know that. Just be careful. Be careful with the online relationships. A lot of people, unfortunately, with online, there's a lot of risk when it comes to online. For me, I always tell people, just come to the Philippines, meet your Filipina here. That way you're face to face, you can meet the Filipinas parents, online, there's just so many things that can go wrong when you meet a Filipino. But, I've seen people that online work for them, but, like my good friend James, James and Karen's adventure, that's how James and Karen met, and they're like awesome couple, they're in love, so it's like, that's, I'm happy for them that it worked, but, a lot more chance of like scam, a lot more chance of like you finding out things that you didn't know when you're doing the online dating. Yes, family is a blessing. If you approach it that way, you will be happier. I think so. Ray. For me, when I'm Filipino anyway, so I know how family is a big part. So when I finally started dating Dazzle, I knew the dynamic. I had to meet Dazzle's father, mother. I had to meet them. It's like I know Dad. The first time I met him, he was checking me out. He's making sure that my intentions were pure. Or I was, that. I wasn't just out there like playing around or anything. So I know he tested me. When I met him. My family is all over the U.S. I don't know who or how many cousins. Same with me, Josh. When I was growing up here in the Philippines, my family, even my aunties, uncles, cousins, we were all in Manila, Quezon City, Manila. But when we all migrated to the United States in the 70s, we just kind of like, it wasn't the same anymore, because a lot of it was distance, California, Texas, New Jersey. And then the other thing, it's like everybody was pursuing money, when they got, when my mom, my older sister, everybody was just chasing money. We didn't have the same dynamic that we have here in the Philippines, where here, Sunday dinner, every birthday, every anniversary, every occasion is celebrated, everybody attends. Once I lived in the US, it became like a typical American family where you only see each other like at Thanksgiving or Christmas. And sometimes I was in the military, I was all over different countries. I was stationed in Korea and Japan. Sometimes I wouldn't see my relatives like 3-4 years. So you lose that dynamic. Here in the Philippines, all of Dazzle's family is in Caticlan. It's about an hour and 15 minutes from us. So every single birthday, it's Nene's birthday, it's Dudu's birthday, it's Uncle Poloy birthday, everything is celebrated, and I like that dynamic, because it makes us closer to each other. Kids born in 2008 and above now get a recognition of citizenship for Philippines. I just did the last year for my daughter. All right, thank you for that information, Journeys in Bohol. Awesome. Like I said, it's the same, just not called dual. Oh, okay, all right. But it's the same. Your kid, because the kid is born to an American in the Philippines, it's a Filipino. You got a Filipino birth certificate, so you don't have to do anything. You don't have to. They'll give you a recognition of citizenship. Vegas with Ginno, just wondering why you. Too personal, Vegas. Too personal, brother. Be careful, Mr. 007. Yep. What is the cost of sending a younger child in a city like Rojas? Probably cheaper in Rojas than, I would say it's probably cheaper in Rojas than, for sure, cheaper than Iloilo City. I would say, if I had to estimate, I would say probably about $800 a year. I would say, maybe 4,000, 5,000 pesos a month, $80, 80 to Like I said, not all private schools are equal. They have different levels. It's like you'd have to do your research. They'll, all of them, of course, will claim they're a good school, but I would ask around, and kids attending, parents of kids attending that school. And it's not like you can't move them. If you bring them to one private school, if you're not happy with what they're doing, you can move them. Usually, if you move to an area like Rojas City, put them in a private school. If you're not happy, you can move them to a different private school. That's not an issue. And then again, Kumon and Kumon. I'm like promoting Kumon for Fortune, because Fortune taught Kumon is awesome. If your kid does Kumon, you will increase the academic performance of your kid. Michael C, good morning, Ginno. Happy Sunday, Michael C. Happy Sunday. I enjoyed yours and collaboration last night on the live stream. Ray in the Philippines, Michael C in the Philippines. Also, he's got a channel. That's his channel, all one word. Michael C in the Philippines. Good morning, happy Sunday. Hey, Josh, Will, Michael C. All right. Hey, Vegas Will from Fortune said hi. Hi, Ray. Good day, Michael C. Hey, Ray. Hey, Fortune. Angel Private School is pretty cheap here. Nice. See, that's the kind of information that we want, right? Like, thank you so much for sharing all the good information, Journeys in Bohol. That's what we need. It's like, as an expat community, we're like retiring here in the Philippines. We need to share information on Facebook with friends. If you know a good school, like here in Calibo, La Casa Española, I know it's a good apartment. That's what I'm sharing to the guys. Hey, stay in that apartment. It's a good apartment, good management, good owners. Not all apartments are created equal in Calibo, man. That's why, when I steer you guys to an apartment, I've already checked it out. I've already seen the different apartments here. And so far, that's the best apartment that I've seen here in Calibo. Roa City, cheaper than Manila. Maybe 1,000. Yeah, maybe. That's how much $1,000 for Iloilo. When I was doing my research, Fortune, so I was thinking maybe slightly cheaper in Roa City than Iloilo. That's why I say maybe 40,000 instead of 55,000. But again, you'd have to check. Each school would be different. There's not a standard fee. Each school, Montessori, Assumption, different private schools here. Like Angel, Journeys from Ball saying, they're all you have to really compare the prices. And then hear it from other expats. Other expats will tell you, or Filipino friends will tell you which school is the best. 100p income is enough to sell. If you're 100% disabled veteran, you're rich here in the Philippines, man. You're rich. Believe me. If that's your only income, if that's $4,000 you're receiving, that's over 200, close to 230,000 pesos a month. Anybody in here in the live chat will tell you, you are rich in Filipino standards if your monthly income is over 200,000 pesos. If you can't live here in the Philippines with that money, maybe you need to check your lifestyle. Maybe it's a different, you're a big, maybe you're living above your means. But over here, $4,000, if you're making $4,000 a month, man, you will live like a king here. If there's a word here when they say live like a king, it's somebody that makes $4,000 and above. Iloilo would be 2,000 for Ateneo. All right. Thank you for. I couldn't find a specific number for Ateneo de Iloilo. I tried to do research when I was trying to research this. They don't post their price. I guess they have different prices depending on the grades too. First grade, fifth grade, at different price. So I couldn't pinpoint a price for Ateneo, but $2,000 for a year is still not too bad. I mean, that's we're talking, that's the top. That's the top of the top as far as private school. You're not gonna find a better private school in Iloilo more than Ateneo. Ginno has the right idea with supplementing Liana's education to make sure she's challenged and learning. Yeah, that's the thing I've seen, JP, in the public schools here. I mean, it's okay. You know, the education's okay. They're teaching them. I'm seeing the homework. I'm helping Leanna with the homework. But they get distracted with like school events, like dancing, singing, pageants. You know, they get distracted with that in the public school here. They're not highly focused on academic. That's why I like Kumon, because Kumon is strictly academic. It's math, reading, and English comprehension. So those are the elements that she will need more when she wants to become a nurse. All the other subjects that they do, you know, unfortunately, you know, it's the same thing in the college, in the, you know, when you attend college, right? Not all the subjects are really going to help you to what you're finally going to do as a trade. You know, it's like you got subjects that you're, you know, philosophy, you know, like, you know, so, you know, you're like, why am I studying this? You know, it's like, because I attended college here and I had so many subjects. I'm like, why am I studying this? What is this got to do with computer programming? Same thing here, you know, with the Kumon, I know because I know what nurses need. You know, I was around nurses for 27 years working in a hospital. I see that they have to be good at writing charts. You got to be good with math, with the medication, you know, and of course, good with comprehension, reading in English and understanding it, doctor's orders, doctor's directions, you know. So I know that is what Leanna needs the most, and Kumon is providing that for her. Just Google St. John's College. Both my kids both attended there. Very professional. All right, Tom, thank you. Thank you. Where's St. John's College? Is that in Manila? Manila? I've not heard of St. John's before. They have 1 to 12 also college degrees. You say the year is that 2 semesters, as in 9 months, as in 9 months. Here, sometimes they break it in 2 semesters, sometimes in 3. It's weird how they do it here. But when they say the tuition is for the year, for 9 months of education. Yes, I'm in all about giving information, thinking about developing an app to locate the nearest. Hey man, you might get rich on that, Ray man. I want to share that app, man. You know, it's like I'm in. I like that app, man. The nearest hammock. 10 months or 4 quarters. Colleges would have 2 semesters or 3 trimester. Yeah, it's like they have different ways here, different ways in the Philippines. That's tuition. So unlike USA, you pay separate if you need school bus, cafeteria, meals included. Yeah, most of us in the US, I attended a public school in the US. Everything's free. You know, I didn't have to pay anything. You know, it's like the people that can afford private schools in the U.S., you know, you gotta be like making money in the U.S. You know, it's not like the common man, the common worker in the United States cannot afford private school in the U.S. Here, pretty much all the foreigners here I know can afford private school here. All right, St. John's. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Tom. St. John's in Rojas City. Thank you for that information, Tom. I'll have to look that up now. I'm gonna take a picture of it because I go to Rojas pretty often. So I wanna like I'm interested in those type of information because like people ask me if I know any good schools that I can recommend. So thank you for that recommendation there. St. John's in Rojas City. 80s baby Ginno has said many times his top city to recommend is Iloilo. Yes, Iloilo City. I've been to many cities. That's my top choice here in the Philippines. If I had to live in a city, it would be Iloilo City. Most bike-friendly city, one of the cleanest city, one of the safest city. Well organized. The mayor's awesome. Mayor of Iloilo City is awesome. And good medical care. Good medical care. That's where I got my treatments for cancer. That's where I had radiation and chemo treatments in Iloilo City. Too big for me. And that's the only thing. That's why I don't live there. I like the province life. I like that I'm able to drive to Iloilo City. I like that I'm only 3.5 hours away from it. Extend my greetings to the sheriff. Yeah, the sheriff is still sleeping. The sheriff and the lamb chop too. Lamb chop is also sleeping. Mom's here too, but I think she's probably shy about coming down the stairs and being seen in the camera. That's why she's not down here. Usually mom's awake already too. Iloilo City for me. Lamb chop, yeah. Fortune, for me too. All right, I see Fortune knows. Fortune knows what the best city here is in the Philippines. Provincial, any in Panay, yes. Any municipality in Panay Island, if you like the provincial life, Antique Province, Aklan Province, Capiz Province, and even in Iloilo, the smaller towns in Iloilo, in Panay Island, you'll have a good life. If you like the peaceful, if you just want to go fishing, you just want to go to the beach, ride around in a motorbike, it's ideal because especially if you're not really good at riding motorbikes, we don't have the traffic. We don't have the traffic like in the cities. Wife, Canlaon volcano had another small eruption this morning. Oh, okay, all right. Thank you, man. I'll have to look out for that. Watch out, moving. Yes, here in Panay Island, I don't think we have a volcano, an active one anyway. The closest volcano to us is in Canlaon. Negros Island is where Canlaon is. But here in Panay Island, I've been here 14 years. I haven't seen an active volcano here. Iloilo has urban fishing too. Yes, right. I filmed that, JP, like on Iloilo River. If you're living like in the city, you can go fishing in the city, or right on Iloilo River. You can go paddle boarding. You can go canoeing. You can do all that in Iloilo River. Pretty good sized river, right near the Esplanade. I had a customer yesterday tell me he bought a house near Iloilo a few weeks ago, but hasn't been over to the Philippines to see it. Wow, bought it unseen, all right? That's all right. I mean, I would prefer for people to my advice to people, I always tell them, before you buy anything here in the Philippines, just rent for a year, go to the place where you think you're gonna buy, live in that area, make sure you like it, because you might, buy something like that and get there and then not like it when you get there. So, but it works too. I mean, I'm sure the individual is just preparing for retirement. It's one less thing he's got to worry when he gets here. He's got a house set up already. Bohol is, oh yeah, I love Bohol, man. I love Bohol. And Panglao. Dazzle and I, we've been to Panglao. We've done the tarsier, all the touristy things in Bohol. Bohol, to me, Bohol is identical to like Aklan Province. I could move to Bohol and be the same environment that I'm here in Panay Island. Same beaches, same you can just rent a scooter in Bohol and just go to Chocolate Hills on a scooter, go to the Tarsier on a scooter, go to you go island hopping, same dynamic. I mean, I love Bohol, man. You picked a good spot, man. You picked a good spot. I would be afraid to show up to an empty lot, right? Well, I mean, he must have gotten like a good price. It's like if you get a good price on a land, maybe it was like too hard to pass up. But a lot of land here, people get desperate. They've owned the land for many years, and a family emergency and something. Sometimes you can really get a good deal on buying land. You're Filipina anyway, because a foreigner can't own land here. It has to be in your Filipina's name. When Leanne gets to factoring polynomials in math, I'm here. Oh, all right. She's getting close to that, man. She's getting close to that, Ray. She's doing advanced math already. All right. Let me just continue with my topic. I did some notes. I would just want to make sure I hit all the notes regarding I talked about my friend, the two kids, the Ateneo. Homeschooling too. Many Filipinos are doing homeschooling too. One of it, my friend here, they're both college graduates. One works in computers. One decided to stay home. I met this couple when I was attending college. their kids from the beginning, from the kindergarten, has been going through homeschooling, and they were using Charlotte Mason Philippines is what they're using as their homeschooling. So the kids now, I think they're like maybe 10 years old now, 7 years old, and both the kids are like super smart. I'm like, the 10-year-old is like memorizing stuff in his head and like present poems and stuff like that. I'm like, dang, it's like, I don't remember doing that when I was a kid, but and both of them are in like taekwondo, because you can enter that way. Your kid has interaction with other kids. So if you want to homeschool your kid here, that is available too in the Philippines. If you don't, if you want to if you have the time, if you're maybe you have an education background, that's an option. That's another. Many people here now are into homeschooling their kids, because a lot of Filipinas stay home anyway. It's like most of the time here, it's still traditional here. The man works, the Filipinas stay home to take care of the kids. So some have opted to like homeschool their kids here. So that is available here. Homeschooling is also available in the Philippines. Hey Ray, when my daughter gets there, I'll take you up. All right, Bon. And good morning, Bon. Thank you for joining the live stream, Bon. Do the board of directors in the enforce the noise regulation and no? Yes. No issue at all here with karaoke. Not on my street anyway, and I don't hear other. People here will complain. We have a group chat. So if somebody, it'd be an issue here. Because we do, and I've filmed this several times. None of the homeowners here own a rooster. There is the boss rooster. I call him the boss rooster. He comes out the gate. He lives right outside the gate of Chameleon. Sometimes he walks in, but I'm sure the guards like shoo him. Now that, but very quiet. I've filmed it many times here in the morning, afternoon. No, we don't have problems with roosters. We don't have problems with stray dogs, and we don't have problem with karaoke. Loud music. We have no problem at all. Hello to everyone. He said hi. All right, Vaughn. Hello, Vaughn. This is my homeschooling Philippines 101 by Instructor Ginno. I don't know about Instructor Ginno. Thank you for that. Thank you for the kind words there, Josh. That's funny. You got it, Vaughn. That type of math is fun for me. All right, man. We got a math whiz here in Ray, man. Good day, Von. Hey, JP. Hello, Fortune. Edgar. Noise level at La Casa, not a problem. Thank you, Edgar. Thank you for addressing that. That's always a concern. Noise is always a concern because there are a lot of roosters in Panay Island. The whole island of Panay, sometimes you feel like you can't get away from roosters. They're everywhere. Cockfighting is big in Panay Island. In all of the municipalities, all of the towns here in Aklan province, all 17 of them, they got these giant arenas here, cockfighting arenas. Every Sunday, it's like the cockfighting arena right outside of it. There's one here in Makato. There's another one in our town in Numancia. The whole highway is lined with like motorbikes, tricycles, like just like hundreds and hundreds of people go to like I'm sure it might even reach 1,000 people go to the cockfighting here. It's a big thing. Cockfighting is big in our province. I love nerds. LOL, just soak it all in and come to your graduation when you come to. That's funny. I like that, man. Come to your graduation when you come to the Philippines. You get your diploma once you step foot in the Philippines. I have a bachelor's in the Philippines history from Ginno University. That's funny, Michael. Thank you for that. That's funny. Sometimes after a good rain, the frogs are worse than the rooster. Oh yeah, the frogs. Like when it's a good rain here, man, they're like giant frogs here, like bullfrogs, and they're like, you're going like, what the heck? It's like my dog, don't like them. So like when Totoy comes out of our yard here, and there's like a frog, our dog chases the frogs away because they make a lot of noise, and after a rain, sometimes there's just a lot of them. But what's funny when like now it's sunny, You don't hear one. You don't even see them. But a good downpour, you do get a lot of frogs. All right, let me hit my notes here again. Make sure I mentioned homeschooling. If you want to do Kumon, I've already. And I just think the Philippines is a great place to raise a kid. And I have some points. I see it with Leanna. Raising her here. I'm providing a good environment for her to grow up just a happy kid. Don't have to worry about, she's like one of the happiest kid I know. She just enjoys things, enjoys her going to school. She likes her classmates when she goes to school. I like that here in the Philippines, they have flag ceremony here. Every Monday, everybody has to wear their uniform. They got to go to the playground. They raise the flag of the Philippines, the national anthem of the Philippines. They pledge allegiance to the flag of the Philippines. They pray. They pray here at the beginning of the school day in their classroom. They pray at the beginning and they pray at the end. To me, that can't hurt a kid, right? That can't hurt a kid. I never could understand why in the United States they took that out. Like the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, why they took out praying in the schools. To me, it's like, to me, that probably is the start of the downfall of education in the United States when you take out those two important things. It's like, again, I don't try to become political, but, it's unfortunate when you get raising citizens and you can't have them pledge allegiance to the American flag, or they can't pray to God. So to me, that's terrible. It's terrible that happened. But here in the Philippines, that still happens. And a lot of people are seeing the good for that they have respect. The kids here in school, Leanna, that have high respect for their teachers, and then the teachers really care. Like right now, Leanna's in the 7th grade. Leanna's 5th grade teacher, 6th grade teacher, they still visit Leanna at her classroom. If they run across in the hallway, they'll stop Leanna. And, they're friends. They're like keeping track of Leanna. How's your teacher now in 7th grade? Or, I like that dynamic that the teachers have a investment on the kids, that they care about the kids here. They're just not earning a paycheck, because a lot of times the public schools here, the teachers in the public school, that's a sought after job here in the Philippines, because that's a job that it's hard for you to get fired. It's a prestigious job here to be a teacher. If you're a teacher here in the public school, people respect you. You went to college, you were educated, and you're teaching young people. That is a highly respected job here in the Philippines. I don't think we can say that for a lot of teachers in the U.S. In the U.S., teachers, I remember even during my high school days, it's like in the U.S. when I was at Long Beach, I just couldn't believe how disrespectful some of my classmates were to our teachers. You would never see that here in the Philippines. In the Philippines, you would be in the principal's office so fast here. Your parents are gonna pick you up so fast from the principal's office, and you're gonna get smacked in the head here. There's just discipline here. Kids respect their teachers here. Kids respect their elders here. Kids are raised here by the community. Like the kids here in my neighborhood, my neighbors here. If I see a kid here acting up, bullying another kid or destroying something or doing something like naughty, kids are kids, boys, especially boys, boys get into stuff. I can go to my neighbor, hey, your kid here was doing this, was throwing rocks at birds or something. I can report him to his parents and they will discipline him. People here, we're raising kids here as a community. It's like, it's not one of those like, oh, I can't say anything to that kid. That's not my kid. That parent might sue me. Here, it's acceptable. It's acceptable to still do those things. Fortune can conduct a few. Oh yeah, Fortune man. He's so not history. I mean, Fortune's like a UP graduate, man. A science high school graduate. Fortune's a genius, man. Ray, yeah, I'm staying away from the rooster fights. They were pulling people out of Taal Lake over their involvement with. Oh, I did hear. I have to like get to that story because I haven't really been paying attention to that story, Ray. But I don't do it. I've never been in the cockfighting arena because to me that's that to me it's not a sport. Man. That's like animal cruelty in my. But people enjoy it here. They do their thing. It's like me. I've just never been. I've never been to a cockfight. Ginno, my 2 cents. It's best not to mention others in common due to those waiting for a chance to others. VA is not 4K per month, even with next year COLA, but close. LOL. Yeah, I don't know. I say around. I know that's about around what 100%. He said 100%, and I looked at the chart. That's about what the VA. But 100, like you said, 100% disabled vet, that's plenty of money. If you got $4,000, around 4,000, that's like living big here in the Philippines. Most of the people I know here live on Social Security alone. It's like Social Security. The average people getting Social Security about $1,700, and they live well on that here in the Philippines. So if you're making more than double Social Security, it's like. You would have a good life here. Frog legs. Good eating. Good eating. I have eaten frog legs, but not in Aklan. It's like when I was visiting like Angeles City, it's a more common food in Pampanga. Pampanga is like in the Philippines, like Angeles City, Pampanga area. It's like the culinary place here in the Philippines. The Pampanga people, they're known for cooking good food, and frog is one of them. I've had frog legs there. Here in Aklan, I haven't seen frog legs, Edgar. Yum, Edgar. Yep. Josh, huge bats. Like flying rabbits. Huge bats. I hear you, Daniel. I am not going to eat bats. Yeah, I've never eaten a bat. I've never eaten a bat either. Yes, prayer in school, Pledge of Allegiance. I like that there is a public prayer for safety when going on a trip. Yes, I mean, they just pray here, right? Right, Ray? Before the opening of the mall, the opening of the mall in Calibo, in Roa City, in Iloilo City, there's always a prayer before they even open the mall. Like I said, prayer cannot not help. It's like we need prayer. We need. There's a lot of people that need praying in their life, man. But they are fruit bats. Maybe they taste good, JP. Hello, hey, there you go, hello. He's from Angeles City in Pampanga, the culinary place of the Philippines. So well known in the Philippines for having good food, Pampanga. Edgar, I love frog legs, at least the ones that don't hop away. Ozzy. Oh, I know. I remember that. Ozzy Osbourne. I don't think did he eat it or did he just bite it? I can't remember. But he was known for that. He was known for. I have a phobia from Wuhan. Hey, I can't blame you, man. It's like I cannot blame you there. I have not seen anywhere where they cook bats here. It's like. I would not be surprised if they cook bats, but I have not seen anywhere in Panay Island that I've heard. I haven't even heard of anybody here cooking and eating bats. They've caught a bat on thriving. Oh, okay, on live. They caught a bat. There's a lot of bats. I know that. There's a lot of bats here. Students here live their. Yes, yeah. It's like I said, like Fortune, right? It's like teachers are highly regarded here in the Philippines. If you're a teacher here, that is a well-respected jobs. Like Fortune is saying, the teacher becomes the kid's second parents. They care. I cannot say that for teachers in the U.S. I had a few in when I went to Long Beach High School. They really were just there to like monitor the people, monitor the high school kids, to survive half the time. It's like I know my school. I've heard like it's gotten rough. It's got Long Beach from my time. That's in the 80s, early 80s is when I went to high school in Long Beach, and from what I'm hearing and seeing on videos, it's not the same high school that I attended. It's rougher. It's rougher now. I mean, kids are rougher now anyway in the U.S. I'll try bat. Has to be. I've never even seen it. I've never even seen where they would kill and cook bat. Batman. All right, Edgar. I grew up from frog hunting at night and having a feast a day. All right. I have eaten. I have eaten frog when I was a kid here, growing up in Quezon City, Manila. That was one that my mom would cook. You can buy. I don't know if you can still do in Manila, but when I was growing up, my mom would cook it. She would cook it like tinola style, if I can remember. It's like in a soup. It's in a soup dish with vegetables and the frog. And it's not just the frog legs. It's the whole frog, body and legs. It's like I remember. The ones that I tried in Pampanga, Holo, can tell you this. They stuff the frog, the inside of the frog. They stuff it with like ground meat, whatever. But it's the whole frog, and they fry it. That was different, but it was good. I enjoyed that. I'm always trying different foods. I have a phobia of medical labs. Yeah, I can see that, man. There's a lot of people who have phobias with needles. I worked in hospitals. We've had patients in the hospital. They see a needle, they pass out. I understand because needles, getting blood drawn, that's not fun. Getting an IV put in, that's not fun. I've had plenty of experience with that, and with my treatments. I dreaded it each time. Saw the bat, Josh. Hi, Josh. JP, good points, Journey. Ray, yes. My 80% is nearly half of 100. Yes. That's why I said, I just know the number. The guy asked for 100% disability, and I've seen the number. It's around $4,000 for 100% disabled. That's why I said, he's got plenty of money. If he's getting $4,000, it's like, that's a lot of money here in the Philippines. Pampanga culinary capital. Yes, Fortune. I knew that because I lived there when I was stationed at Clark. I lived there. San Fernando, Pampanga especially, right beside the city of Angeles City. Some of the best restaurants I've eaten in the Philippines is in San Fernando, Pampanga. National anthem, then prayer, then happy to serve mantra. Right? Here at Liana School, they have the national anthem, they pledge allegiance, they have the Aklan hymn. There's actually an Aklan song that they sing. There's a Numancia, a song, and then they're fighting, Numancia Integrated School song. So they do all that before every Monday. And then they go to the classroom, and then before the start of every day, they pray. Before the start, and at the end of the school, to end the school, they pray again. Like I said, it can't hurt. It can't hurt the kids. It's like scouting is part of the school system here too. Yes, Boy Scout, Girl Scouts, public school, private school, it doesn't matter. That is also part of the curriculum here in the Philippines. I was in the Boy Scouts and Letron, so I experienced that in elementary school, and they still have it here. They have a Boy Scout jamborees here, where once a year you go to a certain part, like here in the Panay Island. I think that the last Boy Scout jamboree was in Iloilo. So every kid that wants to join the jamboree, they go to Iloilo, go camping for a few days. Competition, games, there's events like that here for kids. Like I said, kids can still grow up normal here. There's still like normal outdoor things that they do. Like Ray in the Philippines is saying, kids are outside playing. They're not locked in at home playing video games. I'm sure it's more of that playing with video games as far as kids in the cities. But here in the province, like I would say 75% of the kids here don't got internet in their house. Man. So what can you do in the house if you don't got internet? So you got to be outside playing. We need to get Gino's VA disability. I'm all right, man. I know you've been pushing me to get VA disability. I'm fine, man, because I'm happy. It was a blessing to get a retirement. VA to me, it's like it was not in the cards for me. I filed with the VA. My disability claim was denied, so I've made peace with it. It's like I'm not one of those guys that like I gotta file until you get the number, until you get the money. To me, it's like I have a good life already. I'm blessed already. It's like no stress in my life. To me, it's like I try to limit the stress. Karen loves bat. No, Karen loves bat. Jane K were saying the bat population was down around them due to the popularity of eating. Oh, wow. I'll have to ask them that next time I see James and Karen now. I got to ask them. But I have never seen anybody. I've been here, like I said, 14 years. I've never heard of anybody eating bat here or how they even prepare it. Is it adobo bat? Is it adobo bat? Money is better in your hands, Ginno. Yeah, I know you've said that. You've said that many times. It's like I have enough money, man. It's like it's not like. Is it true there are dentist office on every block? Read today that they have many, and you don't have to wait. Oh man. It's not really every block. There's dentists, but the problem, like here in our province, there are dentists here in the province, but the problem is they're not the complete dental thing that you're expecting. Like in the US, it's almost automatic that you would think that if you go to a dental office, they got an x-ray machine, right? That they can x-ray your teeth. Here, there's many dentists here. I would say 90% here in our province don't have an x-ray machine. There's only certain dentists, and most of the time they're in Calibo. Nice I'm gonna go this coming week. I'm gonna go to Asia Pacific Medical Center because they have a dental clinic at the Asia Pacific Medical Center, and I heard they have an x-ray machine. So even a simple device like an x-ray machine, a lot of dentists don't have that. Most of the time, the dentists that you'll see, you don't pay a lot, but it's only for cleaning. If you gotta get something x-rayed, more elaborate crowns, implants, you're gonna pay money for that. And normally that would be in the city. It would not be in the province. A province dentist is basically, a dentist is in their house. Part of their house, they made an office and they put a dental chair. And like I said, most of the time, it's mostly for cleaning and extraction. Unfortunately, that's how they do it here in the province. Kids with like bad tooth, they just extract it. They don't like try to fix it, try to crown it. It's like, because it's expensive to do that, right? It's just cheaper to like yank it out. But that's not good because then your teeth are going to be crooked if you're missing teeth. Yes, I was a Boy Scout in elementary. You learn to serve and put the heart. I know, right? I think most of us that attended a private school in Manila, a lot of our parents, enrolled us in the Boy Scouts too. Have you been a lot of camping and the jamboree? I've been to the jamboree, and I remember that as a kid here, Fortune. I attended that Mount Makiling. I attended that jamboree. I can't remember what year. I was so young back then. I think I was like 9 or 10 when I attended. And I attended with my older cousins too when we attended the jamboree. Met nice Girl Scouts. Met nice Girl Scouts in 1985. I didn't get lucky, man. That's the problem with going to an old boys Catholic school. It's all boys, and we were all, focused on sports. Boy Scouts. I guess if I had reached high school, then, we had a sister school, Santa Isabella, I think, near our school, near Latran, and they do more interaction once you hit high school. But in elementary, they kept us at Latran. They didn't keep us, we didn't have a lot of interaction with Santa Isabel. I remember the Philippines national anthem played before the first and last movie. Oh yes, it does. Let me see. I'm trying to remember the last time I think I remember hearing it one time when we went to the movies, the first showing, before the first showing of a movie, they do play the national anthem at the end. They still do that. I do remember one time going to the movie here. Same thing, like I said, same thing at the opening of the mall. Like I remember in Rojas City, SM Rojas City, they played the national anthem before. There's a flag facing the main road, and people look at the flag. They play the national anthem, and after the national anthem, they pray and they open the mall. You know, to me, like I said, those things, should be automatic. Your respect for the flag, you're praying to God. I think that's just automatic. I think America got lost when you remove things like that. That's the start of, like, you're losing your patriotism to your country. It's like SF is the capital. Angeles were ceasing. Yes, I remember, man. It's like I said, I was stationed at Clark. Aling Lusing. I remember there used to be like by the railroad tracks in Angeles City. That's where sisig was created. That's where it spread in the Philippines. But it still was good. I remember. I took Dazzle there actually in 2022 when we stopped by Angeles City. It's not the same. It's got commercialized now. I remember when I was airman, when I was in the Air Force in the 80s, you would go to the railroad track there. It's an old railroad track. It's not running. There's no trains going by it when I was stationed there. But it was known, the railroad track area, they had like different sisig booths, like a kiosk, and you can just see them chop. You see the big head of the pig. They're chopping it. They're cooking it. Man, they had the best sisig there by the railroad tracks in Angeles City back then. My lolo was regional chief, Western Visayas of VSP in the 60s, and my uncle, provincial chief. Oh man, that's all. I know your relatives, Fortune. I know they're like in politics, and that's big, right? The politics, the Boy Scouts. That's part of being involved in being involved with the community. Pass on bat. Belus said, "Pass on bat." I'm with you. I'm with you, Belus. I've never eaten bat before, and I don't think I'd want to try eat bat. Like I'm with JP, I'd be scared about. I remember Wuhan, man. I don't want to experience anything from a bat. I think she said bat cooked in coconut milk. I'll pass, Ray. I'll pass. Oh, come on, Belus. Put some hot sauce on those bat wings. Bat wings, they might be good. Enough hot sauce. Ray, what about bat legs? It can't be a lot of meat on bat legs. I'm thinking it's like they got skinny legs. Santa Isabel, Taft Avenue. Yeah, I think that was our sister school at one point, Fortune. I remember. I never got to participate. I know our high school did like events with Santa Isabel. I don't remember. For elementary, we didn't do anything with our sister school at the time. JP, I've had chicken feet. Can't be. Oh no, chicken feet's good now. Chicken feet. I've eaten chicken feet, Ray, because chicken feet. When you boil it, they become super tender, and it's good for you. It's got that collagen, as they say, it's good for your skin. But it's delicious because they put it with a sauce, like a sweet and sour sauce, sweet and spicy sauce. I've eaten chicken feet now. That's good. I don't mind chicken feet. Yes, correct, Southern Cal, Benny. Didn't your balut had feathers, Ray. Couldn't imagine a hairy bat leg. We do not discuss that. That's funny. You're traumatized, man. You got PTSD from the balut, Ray. You got PTSD. Is there a video? A gag reel. Aling Lusings. Yes, I remember Aling. I took Dazzle to Aling Lusing, but it wasn't the same anymore. fortune. It got commercialized. You know, Aling Lusing back in the day was just like a carinderia. Now it's more fancy. It got air conditioned now. You know, it doesn't have the same vibe. It doesn't have the same. Before, I remember, you know, you would go to like the tracks, the railroad tracks, and it'd be like, and it was Pilsen back then. You know, you don't got all that San Miguel light, none of that. It was just Pilsen. You would just sit there. It would be like a bench or something. You order your sisig and you're drinking Pilsen, and just like out in the open air, you know, at nighttime. You know, that's how it was back in the 80s. Oh yes, JP. There's a live stream. There's a live stream, JP. There's a live stream. Gino, you are way too blessed to have been stationed in the Philippines, especially when you grew up. Yes, I know, man. That's why, for me, you know, my life's been a blessing, man. That's why, for me, I do not, you know, I don't go after anything anymore. Like I said, I don't crave material things. To me, it's like next year, just turning 60 to me, next year will be a celebration of my life. You know, just thinking that I made it to 60. I'm just thankful. I'm thankful, and I'm content. You know, there's just nothing in my life that I want anymore. You know, like material things. If anything, I just want to like enjoy my time with Dad, Zoe, Leanna, Mom. You know, with my family until I'm gone. You know, that's and with my friends, with you guys. You know, friends that I met. You know, that's why when you meet me, you'll feel that vibe with me, man. It's like I just have contentment in my life. You know, I'm not after anything anymore. You know, it's like business, vehicles, motorbikes. It's just not. You know, for me, it's like I'm just happy I wake up each day. You know, when I see the sunrise every day, I'm just content. I'll have to find it, Ray. I guess the only issue I have with schooling here, it seems they look for any reason to cancel classes, rainstorm, anything. But yes, that, you know, and that for me, you know, that's why I really like the Kumon. You know, the Kumon is like regimented journeys in Bohol. It's like twice a week, Leanna has to go to Kumon. She's got homework. So right now she's got to do homework. And the first thing she does when she shows up there, she'll present her homework. They'll correct her homework. And then they'll have schoolwork for her there while at the Kumon Center. Math, exercises, different things. And then when she leaves, she gets more assignment. And the assignment takes a lot of work. It takes her a few hours to do the assignment. So she does that twice a week. So if there's cancellation of classes, to me, I already know she's learning more with Kumon and me more than the school because she's attending public school. Maybe she can learn more if she attended a private school in Calibo, but it's just such a hassle for us. You know, it's like from ours, we live like only 5 kilometers to Calibo, but every morning at 7 to 8 and in the evening 4 to 5. It's just a mad rush of students, workers going to Calibo. It's a congestion. It's hard to drop your kid off. It's hard to pick up your kid. It's just too much hassle. That's why I decided to keep her here in Numancia because I'm only like less than a kilometer from the school. You know, anytime Leanna needs me, Kuya, pick me up early. Kuya, early release. I'm on Bumblebee. I'm picking her up. You know, so it's just easier. So I figure with Kumon, with my tutoring, she should be okay. You know, she's already like in the top of her class. She's already in the honor roll, and I'm watching what she's missing. You know, whatever I think that she's missing, I'm researching online and I'm trying to like add to her academics. The U.S. may be on our mind, but the Philippines will always be in our heart. Amen, amen. Right? I hear that a lot, Vaughn. You know, from you guys that are in America, that are Filipino Americans. You know, it's like I said many times. You know, the whole time I lived, over 30 years, I lived in the United States. When people ask me, "Where are you from?" my answer was always the Philippines. You know, I never answered like, I'm from California, I'm from Texas. You know, I never answered that. Or I'm from Arizona. My answer was always in the Philippines. You know, I guess I always knew I would end up back in the Philippines. Same, JP. I've not seen the live stream. I need a new title. Could be race number 1. Yeah. Change the title, Ray. Change first time trying balut. First time. Maybe it was just a highlight video or something, but I might have. Oh, it's a members only. All right. That's why I'll check and make it public. All right. That would be it, like a number one video, man. Number one video there, eh? But I'll move it. Make a short. Yeah. Make a short. Make a short out of that. Michael, good morning, brother Ginno from Northern California. Thank you, Michael. Manalastas. Ray, J. Good idea. All right, working on that. All right, working. Maybe Liana. Oh, there's mom. There's mom. She's coming down. There's mom. She's coming down.
Morning.
Good morning, mom. JP, maybe Leanna needs to think about becoming a doctor instead of a nurse. For now, we're shooting for a nurse, JP. I know, nurse practitioner is not out of the question, maybe in the future. But for now, nursing for me, it's attainable. It's like something I think she will do well. It's not, once she becomes a nurse, like I said, maybe a nurse practitioner, physician assistant, doctor someday. But for now, I think it's a more realistic goal, from what I see, academically from her. Video thumbnail of egg with that's a good suggestion there, right? Put an egg with like a duck egg, like sticking out. That would be funny. Philippines education is mostly about memorization. It's missing analytical. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I agree. A lot of the teaching here is memorization, because I went to college here for 4 years at STI College Calibo, and I agree with that. But to me, I still, there's no reason for Leanna to not become a good nurse if that's the way they're teaching. Memorization, the discipline. She's a good person. She's a caring person. So from what I'm shooting for her to become a nurse, it's attainable for her. It's like nurses have to follow directions for the most part. It's not like there are actions that you will have to make to decide, like if somebody's like coding, things like that. But a lot of times, nursing is about following directions from the doctors, giving medicine, giving the right amount, so, she'll, with the Kumon, I know she's doing a lot of reading and comprehension. So hopefully, that critical thinking, maybe will improve with that. But I agree. A lot of the a lot of the courses they teach here in the Philippines is more memorization, not a lot of critical thinking. But it wouldn't stop her from developing critical thinking. She's got her own mind. So we'll see. It's like it's the education system here, so that's what I got to work with. Yep, you made the right decision with doing the Kumon rather than hassle of private school. I think so, Journey Symbol. Because, the private schools here, they're very demanding, right? They're very demanding with like projects. I see that in the public school. Leanna's always got a school project, science project. But I know the private schools, they're even more demanding with projects. At least with Kumon, I know it's so focused on academics. It's so focused on math. It's so focused on reading. It's so focused on English. Those are the assets that I want her to develop, those skills. That's what the skills that I think she'll need to become a good nurse. Ginno, you might need to make shorts of posse members trying balut. All right. I know Edgar wants to try balut. So we'll see. Edgar keeps saying he wants to try balut, and I keep telling him, are you sure, brother? Are you sure you want to eat balut? The Colonels, hey, good morning, Colonel. Live and in color in the morning. All right, thank you, the Colonel. Colonel also has a channel. Check out the Colonel's Chronicles channel. He does good videos too. Please check out the Colonel's Chronicles channel. Mr. 07, are you starting to celebrate Christmas? They always, people, Michael C. Last night on his live stream, he had Christmas lights already in his house. People put up Christmas lights already. There's some in our neighborhood already with Christmas lights. Me, I'll wait till after Halloween. I gotta decorate my gate here with Halloween first, and then after that, I'll start putting lights. After the day after Halloween, I'll put out lights. Attainable. Did you apply the SMART goals format? I don't know. I don't know what the SMART goals, but I'm just realistic. It's like I've been tutoring Leanna now for 2 years. I can tell what her abilities are. I'm trying to improve her abilities by Kumon, by adding instruction to what they're teaching her in school. But for me, I just know she would become a good nurse because she got the qualities. She's a caring person. She's a loving person. So I know that would be good qualities for her to become a nurse. Here you still need a pre-med prior to med proper. So nursing can be pre-med, then just take it, proceed. Yeah. For me, I don't know if Leanna has the desire to go to school that long, pre-med or nursing and then more school. She's ready to go abroad. Leanna keeps telling me she wants to go abroad. She wants to work overseas. So, I just got to get her through nursing school, maybe 1 year experience here in the Philippines as a nurse. So if she can bypass that to go straight overseas, I'm sure she'd want to do that. The Colonel's in the house. All right, the Colonel. Filipinos are naturally better nurses. We are compassionate and caring people. I agree, right? I see that, man. Like I said, I worked in the U.S. for 27 years in hospitals. Filipinas make the best nurses because they care. It's not, they have pride. They're hardworking. They go above and beyond. It's just a natural, I think, natural for Filipinas that are nurses because we're just hard worker. It's like they want to do the best job. It's not just about the money. That's why you see so many of them. I mean, you can't find a hospital in the U.S. without Filipinos working as nurses. I want Edgar trying balut. All right. JP, Edgar said he's willing. He's willing to try balut. So if he's willing for me to record it, I'll record him trying balut, man. It's going to be a short video, I'm sure. It's going to be like a short, trying balut. The Colonel's Chronicles. All right. Mike, there's no doubt about that. Colonel, thank you. Bon, SMART goals. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and oh, nice. Let me take a picture of that, Mom, because that sounds like some of the acronyms that they used to have in the military, man. We had an acronym for everything, man. That way I know from now on, if I see SMART goal, that's what SMART goal stands for. I remember eating balut was one of the challenges in the that's right. Joe Rogan, remember when he did Fear Factor? I used to watch that. Yep. It was balut. I know, always something to do with the tarantula, snakes, bugs, the cockroach-looking things, Fear Factor. That show was rough, man. That show was rough to watch. But it was a cool show. I enjoyed that Fear Factor, man. Yes, Colonel, smart. Makes you smart. Yes, Fortune. Good morning to you all. To you too. All right. Let me just look at my notes, make sure I hit all the points I wanted to make regarding raising kids in the Philippines. Make sure I talked about that. Pray. I talked about that. Oh, and the last thing I want to mention, when your kids grow up here, it's the same dynamic when I grew up in the Philippines, with family, we just have a lot of titos and titas. The titos and titas, they're like your uncles and your aunties. And a lot of times you're not even related to them. It's not just your blood relative aunties and blood relative uncles. It's also like my parents' best friends. my parents' best friend, my mom's best friend, they were also my tito and tita. Some of them became my ninang or ninong, like godfather or godmother. Like I said, when you bring your kid here, like I know, like my friend Olson from Columbia, South Carolina, he's bringing his kid Isaiah here. Isaiah's like 10, I think. He's moving to an area where his family's from, right? So when he gets here, he's got family there. Isaiah's going to be around his titos, his titas, his lolo, lola, grandma, grandpa. Man, there is something to be said when it's a whole group of people, a community, especially good people around your kid, raising your kids. A lot easier, I think, to raise a kid when you got that community. Like when you get sick or you want to take a vacation, you can leave your kid with a relative, and your kid's going to have fun with the cousins, right? Your kid's going to have fun with the cousins because it's fun when you're like young and you're hanging out with your cousins. They're like your second brothers and sister. So same thing now, Ray in the Philippines, he's met Leanna. He's Leanna's tito now, another tito. Leanna's got so many titos now from our YouTube channel. Tito Ray, Tito Ray, everybody that's met us, Leanna knows them, calls them tito. So it's just more, I just think it's just more fun, for kids to grow up here because they're surrounded with people that love them. A lot of times, with my relatives, it got hard for my relatives in the U.S. because we're all spread out to raise their kids because, they're a lot of times they were like the only ones in Houston. They didn't really have relatives there. So it was the mom and dad or sometimes single parent raising a kid, that makes it harder. Get me on the balut challenge. All right, Bon, you're added to the balut challenge. I would rather kiss a snake than touch a spider. JB, I would have taken some of my competitors if it was in Fear Factor episode. If I was starving, Colonel said the balut was available, I'll still be starving. You'll still be starving. I'm with you, Colonel. I'm not a fan of balut. I'll eat the yellow. I'll eat the yolk. The yolk to me tastes like a harder, like a hard-boiled egg. The yolk. I don't mind eating that, but not the embryo part. Fun. All right, Belus. I'm Tito to the whole valley, right, Belus? You're Tito to the whole valley. That's how it works. It's like Liana's got so many Tito. Liana's got Titos like you guys that are in the U.S. that we haven't even met yet, like Tito Horace. That's one of Liana's. So many people. It's like, and even here, it's like she's got like people that are watching out for her, not just Dazzle and I and then Mom here. Seriously, we are tito to the whole valley. That's even, I know, I understand, Belus. I know you're not, it's literally, I know you're literally a tito to like your community. You're like sponsoring so many kids in your community. Tito Colonel, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, right? You're gonna be Tito Colonel when Leanna meets you, Colonel. Bon, Balut, Benoy, bring it on. All right, guys, I got to start watching the Cubs and Brewers game because I want to know who the Dodgers will be playing. So thank you so much for joining the live stream this morning. I hope it was fun. I hope some information shared regarding raising your kids here in the Philippines. I just think this is a good place. The Philippines still is a good place to raise kids. If you're bringing kids here, don't get discouraged by people in the U.S. telling you, why are you bringing your kid there? Why are you bringing your kid to a third world country? Your kid's better off in the United States. I just don't believe that. I think your kids can have a good life here, surrounded by people that care them, from the teachers, from the titos, from titas, from the lolo, lola. There's just so many people here that will surround your kid, and your kid's going to be happy here in the Philippines. Add me the puke list. All right. Live your own life. Live your own life. The Colonel said, Josh, Fun chat. Thank you, Josh. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed the chat. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. It was great fun. Looking forward to race balut experience. All right. The balut. Love your own. All right. All right. Take care. Take care, everyone. Have a great day, great evening, great good morning. Just enjoy, and everyone, please stay blessed. Stay